Good morning, guys. Okay, I can hear some songs.
Good morning, sir.
So, good morning, good morning. Let the guys settle.
Good
I will
morning, sir.
let you guys admit. Okay, right now we have 8 participants, 7 participants. So let other guys admit, and then in a couple of minutes we'll start. Uh, in between, let me know if I am not audible to someone. But I think if you are any kind of this thing not audible or any kind of questions you have, just kindly put that in a chat. Okay, I have put a message that I hope I am audible to all. That means you guys can hear me, and if that is the case, then we'll start the lecture. 2 minutes has been passed, so we'll start the lecture. We have 9 participants. I'm hoping I'm audible to all of you. If not, just put in a message box. Okay. Okay. So we have a lot of things to cover today. Today will be the last lecture on the background. I means in the to cover the whatever preparedness we should have for doing any kind of design. The thing is that I am taking a little bit more time to make you guys prepared. Because we have covered materials, basic stresses, so many things we have covered. The reason for the thing I'm taking this much time is just I just want to make sure that before doing any design, you guys have all the things which are required for the design with you. Okay. So today, half time we will try to spend on covering the remaining things, and then we will start with the actual design process. Okay. So okay, let me admit up. Okay. So I will continue with the presentation we had. I think last time we have reached. Last time we tried to cover basic stresses. Let's spend some few minutes just to recap on what are the basic stresses. We basically try to cover basic stress and basic strain. What is stress? Load upon area is stress, and strain is change in length upon original length. Then modulus of elasticity and delta L is PL upon A. This equation we have to remember that delta L is equal to PL upon AE. Okay, we have seen that. So we have gone through direct stress. We have gone through bending equation. Uh, I told you we have to keep in mind two equations by heart. That is, first is bending equation, and second is your this torsion equation. Bending equation is M upon I is equal to sigma upon Y is equal to E upon R, where M is bending moment, I is moment of inertia, sigma B is bending stress, Y is your distance from the this neutral axis, E upon R, modulus of rigidity, and R is radius of curvature. Those E and R are not used that frequently, but this equation you have to remember by heart. This is the first equation, and second equation is the torsion equation. That is T upon J is equal to G theta by L is equal to tau upon R. Using these two equations, we will be doing many designs. Okay. Now in that I and J, I was moment of inertia, which is pi by 64 d raised to 4 for a circular base, and which is pi by 32 d raised to 4. Now last time we talked about why it is 32. I talked to you like the principle parallel theorem, parallel axis theorem, and perpendicular axis theorem. So now Ixx here I is pi by 64 d raised to 4, that is Ixx. Iyy perpendicular to that, again pi by 64 d raised to 4. So if you add these two, you will get Izz, that is polar moment of inertia, which is basically pi by 64 plus pi by 64, which comes to pi by 32. So J polar moment of inertia for a circle is pi by 32 d raised to 4. Keep that in mind. So keep these things in mind. Now today we'll talk about principal stresses, and we'll talk about torque, basically torque. Okay, we'll talk about these two things and then we'll proceed with the design part. Now, whenever we are having multiple normal stress as well as shear stress, if both of them are present, then we will be using principal stress. Failure will be with some principal stress. It may be a maximum principal stress or maximum shear stress. Now, say one element is having normal stress as well as shear stress. Means it is having a normal force load on it as well as shear load. That means it is shearing also, and also it is going under through some main load or the principal load, or what you can say a direct load. So when that thing is happening, then we have to because that time calculation we using normal stress or calculation using shear stress will not suffice. We have to combine these two, and then we have to come up with what is the resultant stress, and that resultant stress is called as principal stress. All these things you have gone through in the strength of material. So I don't need to go through them, but still I'm just trying to recap it. Okay. Again, any issues, any doubts you have, kindly put that in a with our chat. Let me just take a quick look at the attendance. Akash, Ashwini, Atharva, Mangesh, Pankaj, Prasad, Rohan, Rushikesh, Saurabh, Simran, Soham, Sudarshan, and Onkar. Okay. So we do not have anyone now, which is not having name. So any doubt, put that in a message. Okay. So no problem. As I was saying, I'm trying to say in a very simple terms. Say now your element, say like your whatever you are designing is not having only normal stress. It is also having shear stress. So if you do your calculation using shear stress, your calculation will fail because it will be less than your maximum stress will be less than that. Or if you do using normal stress, again your maximum stress. So we have to find a resultant stress when there are multiple stresses like normal stress in perpendicular direction and shear stress. In that case, we use principal stress. And the formula for principal stress are given here. Sigma max, if there is only one normal stress, then we'll use the formula sigma max is equal to sigma by 2 plus half of square root of sigma square plus 4 tau square. Here sigma is the normal stress and tau is the shear stress. If there are two normal stresses perpendicular to each other, one may be compression, one may be tension, both may be tension or both may be compression. It can be any combination. But if there are two stresses, sigma 1 and sigma 2 and shear stress tau, then the resultant stress of these three stresses will be calculated by using this formula. Sigma 1, sigma max is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2, means it's average of principal normal stresses plus half root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. Okay. So using this formula, we'll calculate maximum stress, and you will use this maximum stress or principal stress for our calculation. Are you getting it? So basically what we are trying to say is that if there are normal stresses and shear stress, we'll use a combination using this formula, and we'll use that combination or resultant stress called as principal stress for our calculation. Okay. This is maximum principal stress. Minimum is minus. We don't need that because we don't use minimum principal stress for our design. But we'll maximum shear stress. The maximum shear stress is half of, say, only second part, half of sigma square plus 4 tau square if there is only one normal stress, or it is half of square root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. So using these formulas, we will calculate maximum shear stress and we will calculate maximum normal stress. Now question comes, maximum principal stress will always be more, right? Because if you see these two formulas, maximum sigma max in the case of principal stress is more, right? Because it has a component sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 compared to shear stress. Then why we calculate it separately? We do calculate it separately because sigma max is by what you can say principal stress, which is a combination of normal stresses and shear stress. Now while designing, you will be having two limits of, see how you will do any design. You will try to find out the stress in your element and match with your limiting stress or SYT, whatever we are having, right? So we for shear and for main normal state, there will be two different limits. Different elements have different limits of sigma and tau. That's how we calculate different and then we'll compare with the limit. Are you getting? I will repeat the last step again. Why do we calculate principal stress and shear stress differently? Because principal stress will obviously more. It has a separate component of sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2. Still we calculate it separately and we compare it, because sigma max will be compared with your limiting stress and tau max will be compared with your limiting shear stress. Okay, so when we have a given a component, it will have some SYT, it will have some given limit of sigma and given limit of tau. These two different limits for shear and normal state. So that's why we'll calculate and we'll compare it. Okay, now you will get more idea of, I repeated it twice, but if it is not clear, don't worry about it. We'll get a clear picture when we do actual design. Okay, so don't worry about it. But the thing is that we need to know maximum principal stress and maximum shear stress. These two formulas we need to know that. Okay, so just remember two formulas. Sigma max is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. The first equation before that is only sigma 2 is equal to 0, then it becomes a previous equation. Similarly, for tau, it is only second part, half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 square plus 4 tau square. If sigma 2 is 0, it becomes a previous equation. Okay, so this way we will, this principal stresses equation needs to be, you have to keep a mug it. First, normal stress, then bending equation, then torsion equation, we already know about it, then maximum principal stress and maximum shear stress. These four formulas we have to keep it in mind while doing any design. Okay, are you guys with me? If just give me thumbs up in a chat that like, otherwise
Yes,
what will
sir.
happen? I will be keep talking and you guys will be sleeping. So okay, thank you. Good. Okay, Rohan Tilekar, any question you have, or you are giving me thumbs up? Okay, if you have any kind of doubt, ask me in the chat. The chat is open for all.
Okay, sir.
Any doubt, ask me. I just try to repeat whatever is important. But if it still is not clear, don't worry about it. While doing the design, you will actually go through all of it. Okay, so you will have revision. But keep in your mind, we need to have formulas. Okay, what chat we have? Okay, we have to keep in mind formula for first normal stress P upon A, unit is Newton per mm square. Okay, second is bending equation, M upon R is equal to sigma B upon Y is equal to E upon R. Then the torsion equation, T upon J is equal to G theta by L is equal to tau by R. And then maximum principal stress, sigma max is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. Maximum shear stress, tau max, half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau. Remember this equation by heart. There is one more equation we have to keep it in mind, so that we are ready for the design is this equation power. Okay, power is equal to 2 pi nt upon, you guys know very well this equation, you use it many times. Power is given 2 pi nt by 60, where n is as your speed in rpm, that's why we are dividing with 60 to make it rps. So, and t is your torque in newton meter. Okay, and the output of this will be power in watt. So if your power is given in kilowatt, you have to multiply by with 10 raised to 3, or divide this thing will be 60 upon 10 raised to 3. So whatever way you do, that's fine, but your power is given by equation 2 pi nt upon 60. Power, just keep it in mind the units. Power is in watts, 2 pi, n is in rpm, T is torque in Newton meter by 60. Okay, so power equation you guys know. And now this torque, now this the next equation is T is equal to pi by 16 into tau by that. Now this equation you don't need to remember, because this is the outcome of your bending equation. Sorry, this is our torsion equation. Now what your torsion equation tells you? T by J is equal to tau by R. Okay, this is basically the same equation as this, T by J. Do you want me to show you how this equation came? Torque is equal to pi by 16 tau into d cube. Do you want me to show that? Or you guys, you know what? I'll quickly just
Sir, we
try.
understood.
You can get it right. T by
Yes,
J.
sir.
Now what is J? Pi by
Development of energy.
32 d raised to 4. Okay. So T by J, pi by 32 d raised to 4 is equal to tau by R. R is equal to d by 2. So your this pi by 32 will go on the other side. It will become pi by 32 into d raised to 4 into tau into d by, actually divided by d by 2. So basically dd will cut. So d raised to 4 will become d cube and 32 will become 16. So basically it is the output of the same equation. T by J is equal to tau by R, where R is basically d by 2, right? And J is equal to pi by 32 d raised to 4. So if you put those values, you will get torque is equal to pi by 16 tau d cube. Okay, so this is how you see now. This, look at these two equations, power and torque equation. If I know the power, right, and RPM, I can calculate torque, right? See, because I know power in watt, I know RPM, I can calculate torque. So this is the way you will calculate torque. And once you know the torque and you know the limiting stress, what is the allowable shear stress, tau, you can calculate D. This is the design of the shaft. It is, see how simple it is. This is our third chapter. It's a separate chapter for, but in that chapter, this is the way we will be. We will be just, what is the power we need to, your shaft need to carry, depending on an RPM, you will calculate torque, T. P know, N we know, we can calculate torque. And then once we know the torque, the second, then we can use the second equation, and the limiting of the material you are, whatever you are using for the shaft, it will have some tau, limiting shear stress. Using that, we'll calculate D. This is the way we'll design. We got the diameter of the shaft. This is the as simple as that. This is very simplified form I told you, but this is the way we'll be doing the design. Are you getting it? Okay. So just remember these equations, bending equation. Again, I am repeating again and again. You have to keep, learn those by heart. You have to, you should know this equation by heart before starting any design. Bending equation, m upon I is equal to sigma b upon y is equal to a upon r. Torsion equation, T upon J is equal to g theta by L is equal to tau by r. Then we saw principal stresses equation, sigma max and tau max. Then we saw power equation, 2.t upon 60. And then torque is equal to pi by 16 tau d raised to 4. Using this equation, we can do, basically these are the main equations we will be using a lot in our design. Okay. Now I think we are ready with the background. Okay. So whatever equations you guys know will be enough just to start the design. And then obviously you have to do so learn so many things before doing the design. So now we'll start with the actual process of the design. Okay. So I'll take a pause of 1 minute just to make sure that everybody on the same page, anybody has any doubt, like if it is clear, then we will proceed. If anybody is having any doubt, kindly put that in a chat as I keep repeating. I keep checking chat. Any doubt, ask me. Otherwise, we'll continue with the, now actually we'll start with the design process. Okay. I hope nobody has doubt, because nobody is asking me anything
Sir,
in the chat.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if you could just show us the previous slides, we would really quickly write down the formulas, sir.
Actually, yeah, I will repeat. I mean, I will do that. But the thing is that I will be sharing this presentation once this lecture is done. Means once unit is completed, I will share, because the thing is that this PPT is not completely ready. I am preparing for 2 lectures. I am putting material in that. It was 10 slides, then it became 20. Now it is 40 slides. At the end of that, I will be definitely sharing this with you. So you will have those formulas and everything with you. So don't worry about that part. But if you want to, note those formulas, please note it. And noting it will not harm you, because it's good to write it down. So first formula is normal stress sigma is equal to P upon A. Then important formula is delta L is equal to PL upon AE. That is important formula. Delta L, change in length, is equal to PL upon AE. That is important formula. We have to keep it in mind. Next important formula is your bending equation. Okay, write down this equation is equal to MB upon I. M upon I is equal to sigma B upon Y is equal to E upon R. Details of that you don't need to write down, where m is bending moment, mb, I is moment of inertia, sigma b is bending stress, and y is distance from the neutral axis. E is modulus of rigidity, modulus, bulk modulus, Young's modulus, and r is radius of curvature of the whole beam. Next equation is a torsion equation. T upon J, hold on, T upon J is equal to G theta by L. How to get rid of this thing? T upon J is equal to G theta by L is equal to tau by R. T is torque, J is polar moment of inertia, G theta is theta is angle of twist, G is modulus of rigidity, G theta by L is length of this your whatever beam or shaft, and then is equal to what? Tau by R. Tau is shear stress, R is radius of your shaft. Yes. Then principal stresses, maximum principal stress sigma max is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. This is maximum principal stress. And maximum shear stress tau max is equal to second part of the principal stress, half of root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 bracket square plus 4 tau square. Okay, this is maximum shear stress. Then power is equal to 2 pi nt upon 60. Power is in watt, n is in rpm, t is torque is in Newton meter. Okay, and then using the bend torsion equation, we get the torque T is equal to pi by 16 tau d cube. This is a simply shortcut. If you don't remember this equation, no problem. We can use the torsion equation to derive this equation. But torque is equal to pi by 16 T d cube. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
we have now no problem. It's good to have a revision because these are very critical, and we will need every design. We will be using this equation at the start of it. So it's good to have a revision. And again, I'm saying you will have those in my. I will make a PDF of this PPT, and I will share at the end of this unit is done. Why I'm not sharing it now? The simple reason is that it is not completely ready. The thing is that for next two lectures, I am putting what you can say data, or I am putting material in it. So it is ready up to the design of quarter joint. For knuckle joint, I still need to put that those things in this PPT. Okay. So once all those are ready, I will share this with you. So don't worry about that. Okay. So hopefully, I think we are on the same page. Can we
Yes.
take a screenshot? Yeah, it's up to you. You can take a screenshot, but it is you will be just taking space in your phone because your photographs will take space. Ultimately, you are going to get this presentation, so you don't need to take a PPT. But if you want to take it, no problem. It's up to you. Okay. So we'll proceed now with the basic. Now actual design. Now we are starting with our design of machine. Means how any design will work. Okay, and then we'll use this process or this approach for any component. So now we'll do the quarter, knuckle, springs, shaft, gear, whatever. Approach will be same. What is the approach? First, need or aim. Why or what is the requirement or what is the need of the design? That is what you are try to under as a first step of your design. You need to understand what is the need of the design or why I need this design. Okay, that is the very first step. Now, in case of gear, we need a gear. Okay, why we need gear? What is the what you can say? What is the forces on the gear? All those things will be come later on. But first, I have to transfer this much torque from here to here. I need to have a what you can say a gear. So that's why what you can say requirement or the need of the gear comes. Okay. So first stage is the need or what we are trying to achieve in this design. Okay. Second is synthesis. Now what is synthesis? Synthesis means simply what you can say you are trying to analyze the forces or you are breaking it. What is any synthesis? Synthesis means you are basically it's a chemical term. You are breaking the chemical formula. You are doing synthesizing, right? So synthesis means whatever you have got, you are trying to break it up. You are trying to find out basically what are different aspects or what are different parts of it, what are different forces on it. Okay, so you're trying to analyze that. So like or what mechanism we can use to get. So here we can use gear or we can use pulley or we can use chain. So like that, we'll do analysis of it, and you are trying to come up with what is the best mechanism which I can use for my design. That is the second part of your second step, synthesis. Next is, once you know what mechanism you are going to use, now you will try to identify what are the different forces acting on it. Okay, like say bench. Now I know what is the bench, how the bench will be designed. Now I will say, okay, now I want to have a 2-person bench or 3-person bench, 4-person bench. Now I will try to identify, okay, if it is 2-person bench, what kind of forces will be there? If it is 3-person bench, what kind of forces will be there? 1-person bench, means what if 1-person bench, the load will be say 100 kg. If it is 3-person, load will be 300 kg. Say we are taking average person weight maximum 100 kg. See, now on the bench of 3, if 5 people sits, what happen, or how it is taken care? It is taken care by factor of safety. It will not be, will not here consider that there will be 5 people sitting. Our design will be for 3 people. But to take care of extra load, will be used introduce factor of safety later on, right? So depending on the forces, like say building, what kind of machinery or what kind of people will be staying in the, so depending on that, we will do the design of the beams and column, right? So in this next step, we will try to analyze what are the different forces acting on your element. It may be force, it may be static load, shear load, it may be torque, twisting moment, whatever it is, right? So next stage is, first is identify what is the requirement, then do the breakup, try to find out the mechanism, then try to analyze your forces acting on your element. Now, once we know the forces acting on my element, it may be gear, shaft, beam, anything. Once we know the forces, then we have to come up with, okay, now what are the different materials I can use? So depending on the load, we can have different material. Like we can use wood, steel, chromium steel, different alloys, different materials we can use depending on the requirement, or depending on the forces acting on your element, right? So to to cover this part, we have gone through material section. You guys know that we have covered so many materials. The reason for that, because to do any kind of design, we need to know what are different materials are available in the market, so that we can use them in our design. So that's why we did this material design of, what you can say, knowledge of, hold on, yes, okay, knowledge of materials is very much mandatory for design, because it's a very important. As a designer, it's very important, it's your job to select material properly. Like for gear, it may be plastic gear or any other alloy or a steel gear, which gear you will use, and depending on the application. Like if it is very light torque or very light load is there, then plastic gear will be preferred. Why? Because who is this here, who is joining right now? Oh, let me see, Atharva, let me admit him. Jamdade, awesome. Let these guys join. Atharva and Sridhar. Hello Atharva and hello Sridhar. Guys, you joined at 11:30. Are you joining for the sake of attendance? Atharva and Sridhar, you guys joined at 11:30, boss. It's 11:30 now. Are you joining simply for the sake of attendance? Because if that is the case, don't worry about it. You can put the attendance directly. No, don't worry. I will allow you guys without attending the lecture to join. Atharva and Sridhar, guys, you joined just now.
Yes, sir.
It's not appropriate, boss. Joining at after 30 minutes. Only 7-8 minute lecture is left.
सर आधी जॉईन केलं होतं, कनेक्शन लॉस झालं होतं सर.
ओके, जॉईन झाला होतास का? मग डिस्कनेक्ट झाला. ऍक्च्युली आता हा एक्सक्यूज तर मस्त फ्लो होणार आहे. डोंट वरी. No, see, I am not emphasizing anything. Don't worry. If you are, if you want to take a break, do whatever you guys want. I will continue with my lecture. I will continue completing syllabus. So if you guys are, not interested, that's fine. Keep yourself in mute. You can have fun, or you can, listen to my lecture. Any doubts, ask me. It's up to you. No worries. No. And after this, I will be putting a link for the attendance. I am taking a screenshot also of this attendance, whatever, right now, whoever has joined, I am keeping attendance of that also. So that, no, mischievous things will not happen. But still, if you are not interested, that's fine, no problem. Okay, so I will share a link of attendance at the end of this lecture. So if you can put your attendance there. Okay, so let's continue with the material selection was we are talking about. So it is very important aspect of what you can say job of a designer to do a proper material. Like we can select material wood or steel for bench. What we will select depend on the how. So if it is that particular element is being touched by human, then it's better to have some other material like wood or something like that. Like say if you are using a okay, designing a car, gear of a car is plastic gear will be easier to manufacture. Uh, and it will not have that much load. So you will use a plastic gear. But for heavy load, you will go for a metal or alloy or something like that. Okay. So selection of material is very important for a designer. Now, once your material is selected, now you know the forces acting on an element, you know the material. So yes, what is the material selection gives you? It will give you the limiting stresses, SYT, SUT. And using those, we will divide with factor of safety, depending on the application. If it is a design of a plane, we'll have a a large factor of safety. For other design, small factor of safety. So depending on the factor of safety, SYT divided by factor of safety will get your working stress. It's called sigma T or sigma B or whatever it is. That working stress is basically material ultimate stress divided by factor of safety. Okay. So material selection will give you your working stress. Now in the previous stage, you know your loads on your element. So once you know loads of on your element, once you know material of your element, or you can say now with this output is you once you know the working stresses of your element, now we can do design of elements. Means what? Using those equation, torsion equation, bending equation, principal stresses, we can now come up with the design. Design means what? Determining the dimensions, determining the diameter, determining the dimension length. Basically come up with a design means come up with a diagram of your element. What is the diameter? What is the length? What is the width? What is the height? So all the sizes will calculate in a design of elements. Are you getting it? So basically next step will be using the whatever we have learned equations, whatever forces we know on our element, and what is the material selection, what is the limiting stresses we have calculated, will come up with the dimensions. Okay, this is the design of the elements. So output of your this stage will be dimensions of your what you can say your elements. Okay. Now once you design, say as I said, the material might fail because of shear, or material might fail because of the principal or principal stress. So what we will do, we'll calculate the dimension using the principal stresses or sigma T. Okay. And then whatever dimensions we got, for the dimension, we'll check whether it will fail or not fail in the design shear. If it fail for the shear, we'll design for the shear and we'll change the dimension. Okay. Let me repeat my last stage again. This I'm talking about the next stage of the design, that is modify the dimensions or modify the sizes to reduce the overall cost. Now what is this stage? Change your dimensions whatever you got in the previous stage if it fails for some other criteria, or it is increasing the what you can say size too much or cost too much, right? So considering all that, you will again go back to your material selection and design. This material selection and design will be repeated multiple times, and then you will come up with a final dimensions. So modification stage, again you will go to material selection. You might change material if it is very costly, and again do the design. Okay. Or if you will see if your design is proper, or you designed it for the principal stresses, but it fails for the shear, you will do it, change the modification, modify the dimension, and you will do a proper design for the shear also, right? So modifications mean you will modify your design as per the cost, as per the failure and other criteria, and again you will go through the previous two stages of material selection and design of elements again, and this loop will be repeated, and then you will come up with a final dimension. That dimensions, it will not fail in any criteria, and it will also be okay or good for the cost. Once you are comfortable with that, then you will do the dimensions of your shaft or whatever element you will do a drawing of it, and then you will give that drawing for the manufacturer, or you can say your workshop or your production team. Are you getting it? So output, final output of your design is your drawing. So this is the process we are going to say one of our assignment. We are going to draw a design. Means you will know the load, will know the forces, will do select a material, will do a proper, using those formulas or equations, we will do a proper design, we'll find out the dimensions. If required, we'll modify those, and that end of it, all the dimensions, whatever we got, length, dimensions, width, diameter, all that, we'll put that on a diagram. We'll draw whatever elements we are designing, like a gear or spring or whatever, and then that drawing will be your output of your production. Okay, you got a complete picture now. What we are going to do with the requirement of the whatever this much torque needs to be transmitted. With the requirement of that, we'll give a proper drawing as an output. Whole process is your design. Again, I am repeating: requirement or need, synthesis, find out how we can achieve that requirement, analysis, finding out the forces and torques on your elements, do a proper material selection. Once your material is selected, we know the working stresses. Once we know the working stresses, we can use the different equations. We have torsion equation, bending equation, and we can come up with the dimensions. Once we know the dimensions, we'll check those dimensions for any other failures in the modifications, and then we come up with the final dimensions. We draw a drawing, and that drawing will be given to production. This is the process of our design. Now this process will follow for all designs. Okay, I think I have tried to cover it couple of times so that you are very much clear on that. So I think we are done with the design process. Now we'll start with the actual design. We don't have time, but actually I just simply now will say now that this is what we are going to design quarter tomorrow, quarter joint in next lecture. But we'll be following the same procedure. Whatever we did just now, we'll follow the same procedure. Okay, the procedure of design. So that process will be followed for all of them. Any doubt? We have 1 minute 50 seconds left in the lecture. If anybody is having any doubt, kindly put that in a chat for today's lecture. Today we tried to cover remaining basic things like torsion equation, bending equation. We try to cover principal stresses. We try to then cover what is the torque, what is the power, and then we have gone through the process of the machine design. Okay, now from the next lecture, actual we'll start with the design of a quarter joint. Okay, now maybe I don't know how the next lecture, why possible, I will try to do it on chalk and blackboard, but it is not that but it's a numerical subject, so we have to do numericals, and we'll do that from the next lecture. Okay, anybody is having any doubt, kindly put that in a chat. I have 1 minute left. Let me take the screenshot of my attendance. Okay, let me stop sharing, you guys, and anybody has any doubt, you can ask me in this thing. Chat. Okay, I have taken the attendance. If nobody is having any doubt, I think we can close this session. I don't know how much time is. I think it will quit now any minute. So if any less than 1 minute is remaining, and I hope there is no doubt. Somebody has any question. So actually, I want to know the